All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 35 of Cage Side Convos. We are coming to you over Zoom. I am Rick Huntsman.
And this is Quince. This week, we've got a very special guest with us. As you guys already know, we like to connect with people who use their passion and their purpose to bring value and a positive impact to the community. And this week, we've got Miss Sabra Young, who is a local. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Sabra is a personal trainer and as well as a competitor. You've got connections with the local YMCA. You've got connections with American Top Team Fitness. And we thought you'd make a great guest. So it's finally, we've talked about this before. I think it was even closer toward the beginning of the year. You know, I kind of brought you up to Rick. And I said, you know, I've seen her. She's been real consistent at the Y. Every time I go in, she's, you know, you're working with someone else or you're just in on your own and training. And you've got a very heavy following on Instagram and social media. So I said, Rick, I said, Rick, I think she'd be a great fit. And then that's when he told me that your husband trains at the gym as well, over at American Top Team. So I'm like, hey, it just seems like it's meant to be. But I guess to kick things off, we wanted to ask, how long have you been a physical trainer?
I got my certification in I think it was early 2017. And then that was kind of when I just jumped right in and started my own online business, which was like the stupidest thing I could have done, honestly, because I had like no in-person experience, which you need. I mean, it's probably the same. Imagine like, you know, with Rick, like imagine trying to teach martial arts. You're brand new. You just got certified. You're trying to do it online and you've never taught people in real life.
Right.
So it's just like, So I started then, and then, when we moved from Missouri to Watertown, and then I started training at the Y. That was 2018, I believe. And then, I've just kind of gone fully back to online, and it's,
pretty smooth transition for you.
Going well online now,
Well, you know, and you say that you had no experience really working with others in that way, but yet you do it yourself. You train for your own physical and mental well-being. You know, as well as compete. So were you competing before you were a physical trainer?
No, I started in 2018. I started competing. Late 2018.
Oh, okay.
So that was about like a year or so after I got certified. It was like shortly after we moved here. And I started working at the Y. And then, I got bored with just feeling like I was working my ass off for like with no actual goal. And I was like, let's look up what I can do with this. And competing came up, and I just was like, oh, cool. Let's pay some registration fees.
Sure.
There you go.
A little added motivation, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it something at the time that was kind of outside of your comfort zone?
Oh, completely. Yeah. I'd never even like really thought about it until that point. And it was just like I said, it was like, you know, when you're doing something over and over, it's like, what am I training for other than to be fit and healthy? It's just like, this is something I love to do.
Sure.
Like, can I be a professional weightlifter? Like, what am I doing with this? Like, other than training people, like,
right.
I just felt like I needed to have, you know, have more of a purpose, give myself a new challenge. And that was it.
That's an awesome progression. When I didn't really get into fitness or anything like that until I was probably 26, 27. I realized I was sloppily out of shape. So I just kind of started running and then doing like pull-ups in the house. And then I got into strength training. I actually got my personal trainer certification a little over 6 years ago now. And it was kind of the same thing. I was like, okay, well, I'm training. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm a personal trainer. So I studied, and what I thought was going to happen was I would get my certification, and then I would just be able to start coaching people and start training people. So kind of similar to you, like, oh, I'll just get online and this will be, and then you realize, holy shit, one, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I realized early on, and
Exactly it.
it
You
kind
might
of
know how to coach yourself, but then doing it for other people is like a whole different.
Yeah. And then you think, you know, I don't know what it is. I think in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, well, I'll tell somebody I'm a personal trainer, and they're like, okay, I want to hire you. And that's not how it works, you know? And so I got lucky. I started training up at, it was Jiu-Jitsu Nation at the time, and it's become an American Top Team, Watertown. And I started coaching a fitness class up there. I talked to the owner, and I was like, hey man, can I do this? And you just have to pay for my membership. And he was like, sure, why not? You know, and started doing like what eventually became a cardio kickboxing class, and just kind of a way to cut my teeth. But all of it has been figuring shit out as I go, you know, but with that underlying desire of, you know, helping other people and stuff, and just it up, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel that improvised lifestyle for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I think oftentimes this is stuff Rick and I have talked about before, but a lot of times those thoughts, you know, the fact that we've never done it before, we don't have experience, and that quite frankly, we don't always know what we're doing, that keeps a lot of people from moving forward.
Absolutely.
And it keeps people sitting right in the same place, and it does take a different type of person to push through and kind of dive in and try and make sense of that chaos, just as you go.
Absolutely.
You know, there's no right or wrong until you start taking action and learning right on the spot, and that's the stuff that kind of sticks with you. You know, moving forward, and it's apparent that you just kind of have the personality. I mean, the work ethic and the personality for what you do, because you seem to have a great rapport, you know, within the area and online social media. So now that you're in it, does it feel like that a lot of it comes natural now, or is it still are you learning things new still on a daily basis?
Always learning. Always learning. Always. Yeah. No, I still find myself like, even to do this today, like I was saying to my husband, I was like, I know that I need to like get out of my box more and do things that make me a little bit uncomfortable. And because sounds so cliche, but like, that's the only way to grow. That's the only way to progress, is doing things outside of your comfort zone and taking a chance and doing something. And so it's like, I always just have to remind myself, like, you know, what's going to happen. You won't regret it.
Right.
Whenever you need to, you know, progress in any way, whether it be like in fitness, like how I decided to start competing, or how I start, you know, just anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you, I imagine, I'm assuming we probably have some similar experiences with getting people into the gym, or getting people into fitness, or getting people to continue to move forward. And it seems a lot of the stuff you're saying are things that I've heard from clients, or from students, from fighters even, you know, people that are nervous to take that next step forward. Now, the fact that you live that, and you personally put yourself through that discomfort and that constant process of growth, how much have you found that makes it easier to relate to clients and easier to talk to clients and encourage people moving forward, using that own personal experience to relate to them?
Yeah, well, and actually, like you said, I get a ton, and especially because I exclusively train women. And it's not a secret that the fitness realm in general is pretty male dominant.
Yeah, for sure.
And so a lot of the women that I get, and especially, you know, if they're just getting into it, they're uncomfortable, they're beginners, maybe they're a little bit heavier, whatever. They don't want to go to the gym because they feel like everybody's like, that's been half the reason what's keeping them from changing to a healthier lifestyle, is because they just can't, they want to stay in their comfort zone. They're afraid to even go to the gym because they don't want, you know, like people judging them, or feel like, oh, I'm the big woman at the gym that doesn't know what she's doing, or whatever. And it's just like, I've had to have so many talks with people where it's just like, look, everybody is so damn obsessed with themselves. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares what you're doing. Like, do it for you, and you have to put yourself out there, and you will never regret it. You will never be like, damn, like, I shouldn't have gone to the gym today. I feel like, you know what I mean?
I wish I had stayed on the couch more. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and there's so many people that are like, oh my gosh, you know what? You were right. Like, after I just did it, conquered that, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I feel so much more confident in the gym, and I actually feel like I know what even if I don't know what I'm doing exactly, at least I'm there putting in the effort, and I'm proud of myself.
Feel like they're on the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's huge too, is something that Quince and I talk about a lot, and something that I tell my students is like, I haven't always known what the hell I'm doing. Like you said,
everybody's a beginner. Yeah.
Yeah. You signed up, and your first competition probably wasn't what you wanted. Even if, even if you performed well, or you felt like you had a good showing and stuff, you probably say you were like, I could have done better. I had no idea. And how many times have you competed now?
I've done 3 shows now. Yeah.
Okay.
But like you said, my first one was, I had absolutely no clue.
Yeah. And even,
I look back and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But I mean, that's so important. And I think that's probably why people respond so well to you, especially, women. I can sit there and I can give a woman the same advice that you do, but I've never lived it. So I don't have that credibility. But you've taken the initiative, you put yourself in kind of that male-centric world. You've exceeded, you've done well, you continually get outside of that comfort zone. You just have so much more relatable experience. And I think that's very powerful. To have an example like you, just say, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I started, I pushed through it. And even if you're not perfect, and even if you don't win competitions or whatever, it's all about that constant progress and that constant discomfort and that constant growth, so it's just such an awesome story to hear, and awesome example to see,
Yeah. And I really like that advice, as far as you really have to do it for you, and you have to learn your own your reasoning behind that, because there might be a lot of different people telling you, this is why you need to do it. You should do it for this reason, that reason. But until you find your own reason, you don't really have that groundation or that foundation to stand.
Just make up a word.
Groundation, yeah.
Groundation.
I'm
gonna start using that.
Look, man, I'm an artist. This is what I do. But no, it's very true. And I think that genuineness, once you are able to come from that core foundation, I think people are very receptive and open to that. That place of genuineness.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come back to the competing real quick, because I've seen you've gone all over the United States to compete, which is great. I mean, that's one of the things I love about music, is that you get to see the world in that way. So it's just, beneficial on multiple levels. But when you compete and when you're coming up to a competition, do you have a certain process that you go through, maybe a week or 2 weeks before?
Oh, it's way more than that.
It's more than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Compete. It's one of those ones, like, and you guys are gonna hear it first. I'm actually gonna do a prep series on YouTube. I'm starting a channel, so that's pretty exciting. So it's gonna document the whole thing, because it's definitely way more than like a 2 week before thing. It's like,
sure.
we start my prep. Well, I'm going to be doing a show in the fall, and we're already in it. We're already in prep, and it's, yeah. But it's long. It's not like you, yeah. It's a full time, it's a life. It's your whole life. It changes everything. So
the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably closer to, say, Rick, when you're about to fight, you're planning 3-4 months beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, usually for us, when we have a guy that's in fight camp, it's usually a 6 to 8 week camp. You train year round. You're always training, but it's maintenance stuff, it's technical stuff. But that last 6 to 8 weeks, that's the big push up to the competition, where it's all right, quit fucking around with your diet, get serious, get focused. But it sounds like for you, it sounds like it's even further out than that. It sounds like it's 3 or 4 months of, I guess, a camp.
Yeah, we usually have so in general, bikini competitors, we do there'll be a 4 or 5 month growth period where you're still supposed to keep your diet on point. I completely messed that up this past year, and I went off the rails. I gained way more than I'm supposed to in my off season, and it was just, but you live and you learn.
Yeah.
But most people do that, and you're like lifting heavier on those targeted areas, because it's not just like, oh, go up there and look muscular in a bikini. Like, they're looking for a very specific shape. So it's a lot more technical than most people probably think it is, and then it seems on the surface. But so you do that growth period, and you have like increased calories, stuff like that. You're still supposed to be eating fairly clean. And then you do we're doing a 4 or 5 month prep. I can't even, the competitions keep getting moved and stuff because of COVID. Sure. So it's kind of like, I don't really know how long, but my last one was a 5 month prep. And so, I mean, that's 5 months of no cheat meals. You eat exactly what your coach tells you to eat every single day, completely clean. You don't have like I can't even have cream in my coffee, like nothing, not one thing out of line for 5 months. You train hard. You train, like right now I'm doing I'm only on 6 days a week of cardio, 45 minutes a day, but that'll slowly increase. I'll be doing double or triple that by the end of the 5 months. And then plus I do my strength training on top of that every single day, like timed meals. It's a big, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's no joke. That's no joke.
It's a lot, yeah.
And you know, it certainly takes a lot of conviction and a lot of discipline. Does the discipline, do you find, are you very self-motivated? Is it easy to stay self-motivated when it comes to stuff like such hardcore training for these competitions? Or do you find you might lapse here and there?
For the training part of it, that's what I love to do. That's what got me into this in the first place. Okay. So when it comes to the training, there's very rarely a day where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, that's like the highlight of my day.
Sure.
I love it. I love it. The cardio, oh my God, I hate cardio. Who doesn't hate cardio? I don't know who loves cardio. So that part sucks. But at the same time, like, I mean, you just do it because
at this point, it's just part of the. I mean,
it's what you do, yeah.
Right. We talk all the time about, you know, success really comes from not just you getting to the competition and being up on stage, but it is falling in love with that process, falling in love with the training and that work, you know, and that's really the true definition of what success or certainly what it amounts to and what it feels like.
Yeah. And so many people talk about, like, especially in the competing world, like, there's people who compete for the right reasons and for the wrong reasons. And there's a lot of people that you'll see, they'll just do it because they want to get like shredded as hell and they just want to look cool on Instagram or whatever.
Right.
And then they blow up after the show and then you never see them on stage again because it was just like, you know, that's the wrong reasons.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, and they're the kind of people that complain through the whole process and they don't, but it's a mindset thing. You have to change your mindset. And it's like, doing this has honestly, it's affected the way that I run my business. It's affected the way that even like I am as a parent. Like I always say to my husband, like I'm just such a better person when I'm in prep because I have that mentality that like you do what it takes and you don't stop until it's done and you're always improving.
Absolutely. I think that's so critical. Is that it's work ethic. You know, work ethic is, I think a lot of people think work ethic is in the gym, you know, but like you said, your training sessions are the highlight of your day because the rest of it is necessary. You know, the rest of it's not fun. The dieting is not fun. And so for you, you know, you and Marshall, you have 2 daughters, right? And you guys, Marshall trains hard as shit too. He trains way harder than I do, especially he got competition focused himself not too long ago. And he, man, when he was in the gym, I know I was talking to him about his diet and all that stuff. He's got the same mentality as you and he's hardcore as hell. And he's a stud in his own right. He's super strong, super athletic. He's super disciplined. And so it seems like for you guys, that's not only a lifestyle for each one of you individually, but from the sounds of it, it's almost a lifestyle in the home.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. Yeah.
And can you speak maybe a little bit to how you guys balance that a little?
Oh God, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, last year when he did a competition. Where was it last year? Oh God,
Was that the one down in Albany, maybe?
Something Springs. Maybe.
Saratoga Springs.
Yes, that's where it was. And that
yeah.
was like 3 weeks before the Olympia Amateur in Las Vegas for me. So I was like at the end of my prep, I was like, and he asked me to drive like, what was it, like 5 freaking hours to go to this competition. And he's training hard like crazy leading up to the competition. I'm like at the end of my prep. So I'm like, you know, cardio's through the roof. I'm dieted down. I'm just like an angry prep monster at this point. Because I'm sorry, if you're doing like 2 hours of cardio a day and you're eating like nothing at that point, not nothing, but like you're not going to be in the best mood. But oh my gosh, towards the end, like balance wasn't really, we got it done. We figure it out. And it's like, it's just kind of not really balance, but figuring out how you're going to do what you got to do because you have to.
Right.
And it would be like, you know, because he's military, so he would get up 5 a.m., go to work all day. I'd take our oldest daughter to school and then take my youngest daughter with me to the gym, get back, get home, eat, get her down for a nap and feed her and stuff, then go pick the other one up from school, come back, take them both to the gym to go do my second cardio session, come home, give them dinner, then he would still be gone, and then he'd go straight from work to go to training.
Yeah.
And then if I had to do more cardio and I wasn't able to fit it in the hour-long slot that we have for childcare at the gym, I would have to go back to the gym at like, there was times I'd be leaving Planet Fitness at like 1 a.m.
Whoa.
And so it was just like, balance.
And you wake up and do it all over again.
Well, so I think that kind of speaks to maybe not balance in the moment, but balance maybe like overall, because after competition, what kind of rest period do you have? Because there's periods of intense work, but then to balance that, there has to be periods of intense rest too. So do you have like a 3 to 4 week grace period after you compete where it's just you breathe and you just try to enjoy life? Or
because of you get down to such a low body fat percentage, you can't do that. You would completely destroy your metabolism. You get sick. That's how you like blow up. We call it like the post-show blow up.
Sure.
So you have to actually reverse diet back. So it's really more important to be on it after, because you could just ruin 5 months of hard work in a matter of weeks if you overeat, which is exactly what I did after my last competition.
Sure.
So
okay.
Yeah.
The discipline doesn't really stop after the competition.
No.
Wow.
You have to ease back into normal. Otherwise, like your body's fucked. Yeah.
Now, were you aware that this would be the case when you were first hopping into it, or was this something that you had to learn kind of the hard way?
I knew that.
No.
And after my first show, I successfully did it. After my second show, I successfully did it. But after my third show was like, it was not a good time. It was, there was a bunch of drama surrounding the show. I had somebody from my second show who I had beat out in Las Vegas trying to get me disqualified from the third show. So there was drama galore, and it was just like it was in Toronto, my last show.
Now was the last one, was at the same time that Marshall was competing? Right before
that was my second show.
Okay.
That was Olympia.
Okay.
That was in September of last year. And then the next one was my last show in Toronto was late October, I think.
Okay.
Of last year. So they were only about a month and a half apart.
Ooh.
But yeah. Oh, it was like the worst like limbo period.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just bad. Nobody could come with me to the show. So it was my first show that I did alone with nobody in the audience. I knew nobody there, but all the competitors in Canada know each other.
Yeah.
Because it's a very small world there, like
Sure.
competing wise.
Yeah.
So it was just, yeah, it was an awful show. And I think that just mentally affected me. And when I got home, I was just like, screw it. I don't want to reverse. I completely went off the rails. And,
Right.
but I mean, I'd been prepping for like almost 2 years consecutively. So it was kind of like, you know, I was exhausted and I just completely did a 180 and I regret it, but I mean, like I said, you live and learn.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I think it's important to have those moments that feel like failure, you know, or those moments where you have to know where your limits are, you know, because as much as we talk about pushing that comfort zone and pushing those limits and stuff, at a certain point, it's just not good for you mentally or physically. You gotta say, you said, fuck it and just let it happen, you know, and but now you know, you're not going to probably prep for 2 years straight again.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Probably.
I know when doing what I do as far as like performing or putting together shows, you know, it takes so much prep work that and so much energy and focus that the day after, there's just complete exhaustion on my part. And so, you know, at first I would just lay in bed and I would think that I must not be doing it right just because of how I feel. I don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to hop online and respond to, comments or anything like that. Until I learned to understand that it's kind of part of this whole process, because you do put a lot of effort and energy into it, that of course you have to take a little bit of time to give back to self. So now I don't necessarily feel like it's a failure, or I don't let that sort of depressive mind state take over. I appreciate it for what it is and all the hard work that was put in before. So now, you know, I can just enjoy it and take some of that time away just for myself. You know, as long as needed sometimes. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
So that definitely makes sense. Let me see. So you said you've got a competition coming up in the fall.
Hopefully.
And hopefully, you know, given everything that's been going on, and of course, you've also had to change how you train and work with people, given the pandemic. How have you found adapting to that? Do you use a lot of Zoom, or how do you go about it?
Well, I actually, conveniently enough, I stopped training in person last year. So I haven't been doing that for a while anyways. Okay. The biggest change for me was that I only had a handful. I think I had maybe like 3 out of all of my, like, I had about 40 online clients at the time. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe 3 to 5 of them were home-based workouts.
Okay.
So now all of a sudden, within a matter of days, I have to switch 40 women over to completely new training plans.
Right.
So that was really fun. But I have an app and everything, so it's really easy to deliver all the training plans and everything to my clients. Like, they all have video demonstrations and everything. It was definitely a couple hectic days where I was glued to my computer, changing everybody over. But I mean, other than that, it's not really a big difference for me.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a little ahead of the curve anyway.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Which is great.
I knew it was coming.
Are you on this new YouTube channel? You know, you're going to be kind of documenting your progress as for the competitions. Are you also going to utilize it for the training as well, or are you going to stick with the app that you have?
I'm definitely going to stick, I think, with the app that I have. On my channel, I think I'm going to give some, you know, the tips and all that stuff that I even do now on my Instagram for meal prep and that kind of thing. But my training is definitely, my app is, because everybody is so personalized, I don't like to give out big gen pop workouts, because I don't personally believe in those, that they really work.
Absolutely.
So that's not the way. Every single person's body is different. Your training needs to be different and customized to you.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
I don't want to give out stuff that I don't believe in. I don't want to be like, yeah, if you do this great YouTube workout, you're going to lose 20 pounds. Like,
Yes.
Right.
sorry, that's not the way it works. And I'm not going to pretend that's the way it works. So if you, you know,
That's so refreshing to hear.
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things in the fitness world is everybody that reaches a high level says my way is the best way to do it. But I think, like you said, you can give suggestions, try this, see if you like it, see if it works for your body. But ultimately, when it comes down to, especially if you want to reach a high level, it's very personalized.
yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
So-
we've got about 7 minutes left here before my cheap ass Zoom runs out. So, yeah, Chris,
well,
what do you got
yeah,
for
no,
maybe like a
yeah,
wrap?
I had another question just about as far as the training itself. You know, obviously there are physical benefits to it. You know, a little bit healthier and you're in better shape aesthetically. But what about the things people can't see? What about the internal? What about like the mental? How does that benefit you? How does the training benefit that aspect?
This, and we sort of got into that before, but it's the work ethic and being proud of what you can do. And in my case, it's a little easier to see. But it's like my clients, when they come to me and they're like, you know, I haven't seen much difference on the scale. We've only been working together for 3 weeks, but I already feel so much better and so much more confident because like I can see that this hard work that I'm putting in is paying off. And it makes me feel so good about myself that I'm doing this. And I think that is bigger than any kind of physical changes that you will see, is the fact that you can be proud of yourself for putting in work and having it pay off. And you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think that probably even comes before the physical change.
Yeah.
Because it's that sort of high almost, or the realization that it's, you could feel it working. You know, you can start to trust in that process a little bit more. And then over time, you know, you can also see the physical change. So, I mean, you know, it's just a win-win.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I definitely think that the people that stick with it and the people that ultimately end up with the external benefits are the people that have that exact story that you were just talking about. The people that say, I'm frustrated, the number on the scale is not going down. And I say, well, you know, how much stronger are you now? How much more how many, you know, you can do more push-ups, you can lift more weight. And the people that accept that and that believe in that internal strength, you know, because your body gets stronger, but also your mind is getting stronger, you know, and those are the people that are sticking for 2 or 3 years, you know, and those are the really beautiful stories of the people that come to you and exactly like you said, say, you know, I feel more confident, I feel stronger, and then they trust you to guide them too, you know.
And then not only that you get that from your workouts, but you can just, it's the same thing that you can apply it, like I said, to every single aspect of your life. And I think that's such a better outcome than any kind of physical changes that you could make.
Absolutely.
You know, to take it from just a hobby to a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, to make it that much more permanent is definitely where it's at.
Sure.
I agree.
For sure. Absolutely. So Sabra, it's been awesome getting a few minutes to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time on this beautiful Sunday afternoon to you know, share a little bit about what you have to offer with us.
Thank you for having me. That was so fun.
Absolutely. Real quick, plug yourself. Where can we find you on Instagram and Facebook?
I am at Bootcamp Barbie or at She Lifts Fit on Instagram, and I'm She Lifts Fitness on Facebook.
Okay, beautiful. When we share this, we'll make sure we'll give you a tag and everything. And if you guys are looking, especially like you said, you work exclusively with women, and I think that's a role model or a figure that women very much need sometimes when they're very uncertain. And I think you've got a great mindset for it and a great story to share. So absolutely encourage people to at least check out your page and see what you have to offer. So
Yeah.
great.
You know, and I would love to touch base again, closer to the fall, closer to the competition. I mean,
Yes.
hopefully that
Maybe
all
we'll
goes
wait
through.
till after the competition. You probably
I'll
I'll have my diet face. I'll look completely different. I'll be angry. I won't be smiling.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a lot
All
of.
right, maybe Rick's onto something after the competition. We'll hit you up,
Like
see how it
till
went down.
after, till I've had my post-show cheat meal and.
Sure.
Fantastic. Thanks for
Great.
taking the time on this Sunday, Sabra.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll be talking to you soon for sure.
Sounds good.
All righty.